Galactic Peculiar Rifle Wars. A science fiction plot. By most viral. A long time ago in a peculiar galaxy. After leaving the peculiar planet Takampa, a group of ghosts fly toward a distant speck. The speck gradually resolves into a fat, space albie. Civil war strikes the galaxy, which is ruled by Lauren Platt, a curvaceous ghost capable of decadence and even abduction. Terrified, a ruddy gnome known as Casper McDonald flees the Empire, with his protector, Nilo Mori. They head for San Francisco on the planet Vice. When they finally arrive, a fight breaks out. Super Hulk uses his peculiar rifle to defend Casper. Super Hulk and Gnome Casper decide it's time to leave Vice and steal a lorry to shoot their way out. They encounter a tribe of goblins. Super Hulk is attacked and the gnome is captured by the goblins and taken back to San Francisco. Super Hulk must fight to save Gnome Casper, but when he accidentally unearths a wild hawk, the entire future of the peculiar galaxy is at stake. Now, with Nilo Mori traveling deeper into the larger nebula, they were able to visually check on what else was there. There were numerous battleships and starships, so as far as Nilo Mori knew, the Galactic Navy had made an area military target. And the results of this weren't going to be anything good, either. The scope didn't seem to be working on anything with weapons, but the science team thought the massive space that surrounded them could be doing something strange to the ion flux between the hydrogen, helium and lithium. This could be causing all kinds of damage to the ships and causing them to become ill, but nobody knew for sure what. Now that the enemy was within range, a commander issued the first real orders. In this part of the galaxy, the army didn't go after any place that wasn't a main battlefront. But they weren't going to go around this bit, and going for a walk was as good as surrendering. The science officer had taken all of the cold gases out of the weapon, and the research on other weapon systems began. The army was in the process of creating a machine gun and a new rifle that fired a mixture of ionic and plasma bursts. The army was also constructing a machine gun that fired a continuous beam, and two things were already being built, with all the guns on their sides, a rifle that fired a beam of particles that could pack enough power into the gun to cause a ship to explode, and a machine gun that fired bullets that fired a stream of ionic, liquid, or gas. When this happened, it was going to be war, but no one knew how the enemy was going to attack, except to sit and wait. This was war, and there was nothing like that the world had seen before. Even though Nilo Mori hadn't gotten a good look at the weapon, he knew exactly what it looked like when it fired. And he was determined that if any alien species got a chance at it, they were going to be destroyed by it, and it wouldn't be a battle. It would be something that would kill them in their tracks. Colonel Mori was as surprised as anyone else that this enemy ship came at them so fast. No alien ship was supposed to go near the Iron Nebula. The enemy ships were supposed to fire rockets and missiles from a distance. Instead, the enemy ship was coming at them, firing several small laser blasts. The laser blasts shot through the Iron Nebula and caused the iron flow to expand and grow, like ice melting in the sun, and expanding with the temperature. The laser blasts caused a ripple effect that, in turn, drew in the next laser blast. The lasers were so powerful that the blasts had nowhere to go, so they were all bouncing around in the Iron Nebula. But that wasn't what was dangerous. The laser blasts could also create a bubble around the Iron Nebula, and once it was in the shield, it wouldn't be able to be disturbed at all. There was even a science officer working on a project that would cause the Iron Nebula to go dormant when the laser blasts were fired. Suddenly, this alien ship slowed, and the first laser blast was fired. It flew straight through the iron bubble, causing it to shrink in the middle, and with it, the iron bubble shrunk. At this point, the black metal and glass ship returned fire with a few bursts from its large-range weapon. This weapon fired hundreds of rockets in rapid succession, and each rocket was fired at one of the flying platforms. The rockets hit one of the platforms and exploded. A light exploded and turned into a black, burning circle of flesh, in the center of which was a humanoid skeleton, lying on its back, arms and legs thrashing violently around. The flesh was burning and twisted to where there was no shape at all. The skeletons seemed to be moving in the fire. The rockets destroyed one of the ships that were flying around the machine gun turret, which fired from the belly of the ship. The rockets penetrated the barrel of the gun and tore the gun into pieces. But the gun couldn't be destroyed, and there was more gunfire coming, so the army started to retreat. The science team took the laser device and hid it in a cave nearby, where they planned on studying it and figuring out what it was. They also went to the cliff and hid on the lower ledge of the cliff. The scientists had originally built the laser device to study the ion flux. And once it was destroyed, the scientists planned to study it more, and to find the answers to the unknown war that was going on. Then another ship launched a missile and killed the scientist. And a few of the scientists that were hiding near the cave fell into the sea of sand below. Then another ship fired a cannon and blasted a hole in the side of the mountain that was located near the base of the cliff. This caused the sandstone to fall and bury the tunnel that the scientists used. The tunnel was located near the entrance to the cave that the scientists had been in when the alien ship first came. The soldiers that survived the landing and attack started to dig the cave out, while the Navy worked on creating a boat that could travel to other parts of the planet. Shortly after the scientists died in the attack, an alien ship launched a missile at the machine gun turret, which launched a rocket that exploded into the barrel of the machine gun turret. This rocket then pierced through the gun, causing it to explode. The gun was now useless, and the army was stuck on the planet, with no idea what to do next. The leader of the army, Lieutenant Jefferson Davis, found the scientist's corpse and the laser device in the cave. Lieutenant Davis found it hard to believe that the scientist had lost his mind. There was a galaxy far away, and he was killed in a war with space aliens. Lieutenant Davis noticed that the scientist had several holes in his armor. These holes were covered with electrical tape. Lieutenant Davis noticed that this scientist was also carrying several boxes and bags in the bag. The scientist carried several energy crystals and a strange metal object in each of the bags. Lieutenant Davis didn't understand why these aliens were using crystals and electricity. The Army and Navy were searching for the base that the alien ship landed on, in the same area where the scientists were killed by the alien ship. This was the strange area that Lieutenant Davis described to Captain Oliver Perry. The Navy and Army were working on creating a special craft to get them to the planet. The Army was building a rocket, with no weapon, but they were going to use it to get to the planet and try to rescue the scientists and get to the base that the alien ship landed in. But Lieutenant Davis explained to Captain Perry and Captain Forrest about the strange activity on the planet and the strange wars that were going on. Lieutenant Davis explained that the Galactic Empire was fighting the wars, and the spaceships flew around in space, looking for planets that had strange things on them. The wars started when the Galactic Empire tried to establish its authority over the planets that had strange things on them. The Galactic Empire was originally created by a man who was the son of a scientist,